Hello and welcome back to another Toffee Blues video, your source for all things Everton. I'm Louis, this is a player ratings video coming off the back of yesterday's 4-0 home win over Leicester City, a crucial 3 points in Everton's bid to get away from the relegation zone. Got off to the perfect start inside the opening 10 seconds, a piece of Goodison Park history from Abdoulaye Doucouré before Beto added 2 to the tally and then Iliman Ndiaye's late sealer. Fully deserving of the win, Everton. It was a brilliant display from start to finish. No poor performances, and that feel-good factor is carrying on our third win on the bounce, heading into 2 massive games next week. So hopefully the players will now be full of confidence and we can progress into the 5th round of the FA Cup and win the big one, the last Goodison derby. But we'll start with the ratings anyway. Jordan Pickford 7. Quiet afternoon for our keeper, to be fair. Leicester, like I say, never really laid a glove on Everton in truth. Good save late on to deny Patson Daka. Showed good handling there, and then obviously laid on the first goal with what was probably a long ball, but it was in an area and it found the man. But a good display from the Everton goalkeeper, and that's a 7. O'Brien next, 8. He's been pivotal in this 3-game run. His link up with Lindstrom down the right hand side has been growing all the time, and the better that's got, the more secure Everton have looked as well. And he's been a bit of a revelation really since he's come into the side. He's strong in the air for someone of his size as well. He's got a really good turn of pace, which you don't often see. His composure seems to be growing all the time. He's really cool in possession. He's strong too. He's been brilliant in truth, O'Brien, and long may it continue. So an 8 out of 10 for the Irishman. Tarkowski next, 7.5. Great assist. He's often bemoaned for his long balls, but more often than not the long passes. That showed again. Great through ball, laying it on for Beto, and again early dominant throughout the 90, and a good display from our centre half. That's a 7.5. Branthwaite 8.5, commanding, much more like himself. Apparently he was last weekend. I didn't watch it, but by all accounts he was back to the Branthwaite of old, and yes, he was no different. Up against Jamie Vardy, who, despite his age, it's no easy task playing against him. That's why he's been at the top level for so long, and Branthwaite made it look easy in truth, and it was a really, really good display from the centre half. So 8.5. Mikalenko 7.5. Solid again. He, a month or so ago, he was under a lot of criticism, and probably rightfully so. His performances in the early part of the season weren't great, but credit to him. In the back end of Dyche's reign and now under Moyes as well, he's turned it around big time, and he's better going forward as well. He doesn't look as limited. Whether that's Baines coming more into play as well, I'm not so sure, but a good display from the fullbacks. That's a 7.5. James Garner, man of the match, 9 out of 10. Everton have missed him massively this season. Games in the past where we've drawn at home and haven't been able to break down the opposition. The way that Garner dictates the play, the speed of possession, the way that he screens the back line. He ran the show quite literally yesterday. Put on Beto's goal brilliantly. Fantastic through ball, and he was a huge part of the side last season that was so successful. And it was no different again yesterday. Man of the match for James Garner, and like I say, having him back in the side is crucial, and long may that continue. And it was clear to see how much the players rate him as well. He's a real players player, and yeah, 9 out of 10 for him. Buzzing to have him back. Garner 8. The energy and the engine on a 35-year-old is astounding. He seems to get fitter and fitter every week, which is incredible. And Everton really need to start looking at whether we can tie him down to another year, because what he's doing for us at the minute is irreplaceable in truth. So hopefully the club can get that sorted out. Lindstrom 8. Again, everything but the goal for Lindstrom. Unfortunately, he just can't seem to end this drought he's on at the minute. A good save from Hermansen just before he was subbed off, but hopefully that comes soon enough. The form he's in, he should be full of confidence. The link up with O'Brien I've mentioned, but he's growing into a bit of a crowd favourite as well, because his effort is constant, which is all that Evertonians ask really, but he's offering more as well. He's got real exuberance, real flair in the final third, and it's starting to excite you when he gets on the ball as well. So whether Everton look at making that deal permanent at the end of the season, time will tell, but as I say, he's certainly been important in this 3-game winning run. So an 8 from Jesper Lindstrom. And Ndiaye 8.5, fully deserving of his goal, made up for him again, 3-3 now. Everything that his performances have deserved. He doesn't stop running for his teammates. And that was exactly the same, with the last goal. He looked dead on his feet for the last 15 minutes or so, but he just kept trying. Shades of Richarlison really back in the day. And, it's why Evertonians have warmed to him so much in this short stint he's had at the club so far. His 8th goal of the season, and what a talent he is. 8.5 out of 10 for Ndai. Doucouré next, 7.5, took his goal really well, made up for Doucouré. He gets a lot of stick, but he's been a huge part in Everton's recent history, and the club owe a lot to him. And for him to have that little piece of Goodison Park history next to his name is quite deserving, because he gives everything for Everton. Doucouré, whether or not he's the most talented footballer you've ever seen, I'm not so sure, but you can't fault his work rate. And again, it was no different yesterday. So a 7.5 for Doucouré. Beto, 8.5. I thought it was probably his best display for Everton in the Premier League anyway. He was bullish. He gave the centre-halves no chance all afternoon, bullied the pair of them, took his goals really well with aplomb. Yes, they were laid on well, but in the past, he wasn't as clinical, where he was really ruthless yesterday, so fully deserving of his goals. And I think the early goal that we got probably played to his strength, because Leicester had to push on, leaving those gaps in behind, which is where he thrives. If you play the ball up to him, chances are it's not going to stick in behind. That's his strength, and it paid off for him. 2 really well taken goals, and to put the game beyond Leicester's reach, and a good performance from the striker. Subs next: Young 6, Harrison 6, Patterson 6. They weren't on for that long. They didn't really do anything wrong. Didn't really have much to do. I say it was a very comfortable game for Everton, in truth. But then Arobinam 7, great to have him back. You can see even in that 10-minute display, flashes of brilliance, snippets of what he's all about, and the fitter he gets and the more up to speed with the Premier League that he gets, he's going to be a real talent for Everton, and it'll be great to see him next to James Garner as well. Hopefully in the future those two can thrive together, because the two footballers, Everton don't have a lot of. We've got a lot of footballers. We don't have a lot of footballers. It's clear to see with Arobinam that he can take the ball. He can find his man with ease. He moves it quick, similar to Garner. So hopefully he's someone who can be key going forward. But great to have him back. And it was a great day at Goodison Park, in truth. I think everyone left the ground from an Everton perspective with a smile on the face, as I say. And, we've not got many of these left, so it's important to enjoy them as much as they come. And yesterday was a great one. Our second 4-0 home win of the season. Last one, obviously, coming under Deitch against Wolves. So great to have had 2 dominant displays already this season. Hopefully we can have many more to come. But that's all from me. Thanks very much for listening. Let us know your thoughts. Hopefully no one disagrees with me too much this week, because we've won 4-0. But thanks for listening. I'll see you all soon. Take care.